Yeah, thank you so much for joining the lesson. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being around. So we're going to discuss mathematics paper 2, section 2 this time round. Remember to subscribe. Remember to share so that you may invite friends. Let me post my screen now. Remember to comment. Yeah, let's know where you're us from. Let's know whether you are able to get us live and how. So this is the paper that we're going to discuss tonight. A very wonderful paper, the section 2 of this Kenya Mathematics Gurus. Yeah, Kenya Mathematics Gurus. So let's get to the paper. The first one is on trigonometric waves, trigonometric functions. Complete the table below for the functions. Y equals to the cosine of 2x plus 30 and y equals to 2 sine of 2x minus 30 degrees, ranging between 0 and 180, that is the values of x, to one decimal place. We're supposed to adhere to the instructions of decimal places and all that. So let's begin with the first function. When you are told to ensure that you fill a table and the functions are already provided, actually the first 2 marks are usually free marks. Very free marks. Reason being, the function is there, you got a calculator, yours is to feed. For example, I just write cos, I open brackets, 2x. So 2 times 0 is a 0, then plus 30. So the cosine of 30, 0.866. But I want it in one decimal place, so 0.9. The next, which is 15, so the cosine of, or I first write 2 into 15, then I add 30. I'm getting 60. So I need the cosine of 60 now, which is 0.5. It's already to one decimal place. I compute again, 2 times 30, then I add 30. I'm getting 90. So I need the cosine of 90, which is usually 0. But remember the accuracy needed, so you write 0.0. You can't afford to make it a whole number. It must be having one decimal point. 2 into 45, then we add 30. So I need the cosine of 120 now, which is negative 0.5. Then at 60, 2 into 60 plus 30. I'm talking about the cosine of 150 now, which is negative 0.9 to one decimal place. Then at 75, it shall be 2 into 75 plus 30. This is 180. So the cosine of 180 is negative 1. So I'll talk about negative 1.0 to ensure that it is to one decimal point. 2 into 90 plus 30. This is giving me 210. So the cosine of 210, this is negative 0.9. Negative 0.9. Then we have 105. 2 into 105. Then I add 30. Then the cosine of this, which is negative 0.5. At 120, I have 2 into 120. Then I add 30. Then I talk about the cosine of this now, which is exactly 0. So it should be 0.0 because of the accuracy instruction. Then at 135, 2 times 135, then plus 30, the cosine of 300. This becomes 0.5. You will shock me if the teacher will give you a question on this, or NEC will give a question on this, then you end up failing at the first 2 marks. It is too unfair even to yourself. just be fair to yourself by first scoring the obvious marks. 0.9 positive. At 165, 2 into 165, then I add 30, 360. So the cosine of 360, which is positive 1, it will be 1.0, because we can't have it as exactly 1. 2 into 180, then we add 30, cosine of 390, 0.9. We are through with the first function. We have ensured the accuracy, so everything is intact. The second function now, we go to the second function. Remember to subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to share with friends. Just remember to invite somebody to this broadcast. You can also comment. Let's know where you are getting us from live. So I'm here at Shifting Grades live. Let me get your greeting, please. I send greetings of love to everybody, to all the subscribers tonight. Thank you for being around. Thank you for following up with our platform. Thank you for choosing us. Thank you for choosing us. Thank you. All right, so we continue, and I hope you are sharing with friends. We are going to handle very technical questions here. So please, you better be with your friends around. Let us know where you are watching us from. Identify yourself with the school that you come from. The second function now. Every value of beta now should be multiplied by 2. Then instead of adding 30, in this case now, we are subtracting 30. So we take 2 into 0, that becomes 0, minus 30. So we need the sign, or 2 sine 30. 2 sine of negative 30. Yeah, please notice that it's a negative 30. So I'm getting negative 1.0. Remember the 2 that multiplies sine, and remember the negative sign of 30. So I will talk about 2 into 15. Then I subtract 30. I'm getting exactly 0. So 2 sine 0. This is still 0. We have to include the 0.0 there to sustain the accuracy of 2dp. Then 2 into 30. And I subtract 30. I'm getting 30. So 2 sine 30. This is exactly 1. Then I go to 45. So 2 into 45, then I subtract 30. So 2 sine 40, sine 60, 1.7. Sorry, 1.7. Then we proceed to 60. So 2 into 60, and we subtract 30. Then 2 sine of 90, which is positive 2, should be 2.0. That way. At 75, it should be 2 into 75, then minus 30. So the 2 sine of 120, I'm getting 1.73 again. So 17. Then we talk about 90. Hello, Pasana. We are live on YouTube. Kindly follow our lessons. You will call later. Okay, so at 90, we'll be having 2 into 90. Then we subtract 30. So 2, the sine of this value, which is now 1.0. We proceed to 105. 2 into 105 minus 30. So 2 sine of this value, I'm getting exactly 0. So 0.0. That way. Then 120. 2 into 120 minus 30. So 2, the sine of this particular value, I'm getting negative 1.0. At 135, it should be 2 into 135. I subtract 30. to the sign of the answer that I'm getting, negative 1.7. Then I go to 152 into 150 minus 30 to sine the answer that I'm getting, negative 2. So it should be 2.0. Then at 165, 2 into 165 minus 30 to sine the answer that I'm getting, negative 1.7. And finally at 180, 2 into 180, then I subtract 30. So 2 sine the answer, I have negative 1. So it should be 0.0 that way. So we are having all the values. We are having all the values already. So the next thing now is plotting. The second part talks about plotting all this. So draw the graph of y equals to the cosine of 2x plus 30 and y equals to 2, the sine of 2x minus 30 on the grid provided. So we are supposed now to draw the two functions on the same axis. The two functions on the same axis. Let me begin with the first one. We are already having the coordinates plotted. We already have all the coordinates, we have all the axes labeled. Well, the vertical axis, then the horizontal axis. So we have 0, 0.9. That is the first coordinate. 0, 0.9. We plot that 0, 0.9. So the coordinates at this point, 0, 0.9. Then the next one is 15, 0.5. So 15 and 0.5, at that point, between 1 and 0, we have 0.5. Remember, this is 0. Then 30 and 0.0. So 30 and 0.0 shall be exactly there. The next is a 45 and negative 0.5. Negative 0.5 should be on the lower side of the x-axis. 60 goes with negative 0.9. 60 with negative 0.9. Just before negative 1, we have 0.9 negative. Then 75 with negative 1. 75 with negative 1 that way. 90 with negative 0.9. 90 with negative 0.9. 105 with negative 0.5. 120 with 0. 135 with 0.5 positive. 0.5 positive. Then 150 with 0.9 positive, 0.9 just before 1. 165 with 1.0. Then 180 with 0.9. 180 with 0.9. So we have the coordinates plotted. We now draw the curve. We are supposed to join these dots using a very smooth curve. Look at what I'm going to do. A smooth curve from one coordinate to the next. From one coordinate to the next. Just look at how smooth. Just look at how smooth my curve is. So that is the first curve. This curve is curve y equals to the cosine of 2x plus 30. 2x plus 30, that way. The second one, we start again plotting 0, negative 1. So 0 goes with negative 1, that is the coordinate. 15 goes with 0, 0. 15 and 0, 0. 30 goes with 1.0. 30 goes with 1.0 that way. 45 goes with 1.7. 1.7, yeah, that way. 60 goes with 2.0. 2.0. 75 goes with 1.7. 90 goes with 1.0, which is here. 105 goes with 00, which is there. 120 goes with -1, which is here. 135 goes with -1.7. -1.7. Then 150 goes with -2. 165 goes with -1.7. -1.7. Then 180 goes with -1. 180 goes with -1. So I have all the coordinates properly plotted. So I can do the curve now. I can now do the curve by joining them so smoothly. So smoothly. Look at this, very smooth. Very smooth curve. This is not a talent. This is just practice. This is just practice. You practice, and with time, you are going to perfect. You shall be coming up with as smooth curves as those of Shifting Grades Online School. Just look at that. Remember, after plotting, the plotted coordinates should be visible. So I discourage students from using dots to identify coordinates. Just use the cross so that once the curve passes over there, you are in a position to identify the coordinates that you had plotted. This is the function y equals to 2 the sine of 2x minus 30. So I'm already having the curves now. The curves are ready. The curves are ready. Yeah, the curves are ready. Comment on our curves. How do you find my curves? As a student, how do you find my curves? How are they? Very smooth, according to myself. Self-assessment. Very smooth. So that is what we need. Yeah, KCC 2024 I shall do, and most of the questions are already uploaded. A lesson on color, it's already done, but we can redo. Thank you. I like the suggestions. Wow, Friends School Kamusinga, thank you so much. Actually, Friends School Kamusinga did very well in mathematics last year's KCSE. They were almost the top in the country. Remember to send all those suggestions to 0704 15 33 66. That's our main line. It's always active 24/7, except those who are interrupting when we are already live. There are some people who are calling us and we are doing a lesson here. So make sure you reach out during convenient hours, not too late at the night, not too early in the morning, just reasonable hours, and not during a live presentation like this one. So this is what we expect from a student, a serious student, that way. Let's check the questions after this now. Part B, use the graph to solve the equation 2, the cosine of 2x plus 30. That should be the first value of y. Then 4, 4 sine, look at this, 4 sine 2x minus 30. So let me show you how to go about this. when you look at the curve, there is none of them that looks like what has been stated here. But if we rearrange to remain with the 2, the cosine of 2x plus 30 equals to, instead of minus 4, now the 4 becomes positive here, sine of 2x minus 30, that way. At that point now, you realize we can divide through by the 2 here, and this one becomes a 2. So we are having the cosine of 2x plus 30 equals to 2 sine 2x minus 30. And now, these are the two functions which have been plotted. So in most of the times, the question might not be very direct to tell you to solve the equation, then they give you the two functions direct. They try to mix them up to see whether you can relate a few things. Like the 2 which had multiplied all of them, you factor out the 2, it simplifies out. Now they become as they have been plotted. So when you are told to plot this function, this is the first y and the second y, and we want to solve, you should identify where the two curves are meeting. Identify where the two curves are meeting. Just identify the meeting points for the two curves. Meeting points for the two curves. So now we can identify those points. The first meeting point is here. So you read the value of x there. So we need two values of x because the meeting points are 2. Where are the curves meeting? You identify the 2 points. So the first one should be, look at, I want us to interpret the scale. From 0 to 15, we have 10 divisions representing 15 units. From 15 to 30, again 10 small units representing 15. So to interpret the scale together, 10 squares are representing 15 units. What about one small square? One small square shall represent 15 times 1 over 10. So one small square is representing 1.5 degrees. 1.5 degrees. So from 15, we have a 1.5, 3, 4.5. So we have 4.5. So 19.5. 19.5 degrees. That is the first one. Then we go to the second point of intersection. This one. The second point of intersection, and we want to read that. What is that point of intersection? From 105, we have a 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6. So we are adding 6, which will take us to 111. 111 degrees. Yeah, 111 degrees. So that is it. You read the points where the curves are interacting or meeting. Let's look at part C. From the graph function for the sine of 2x minus 30 equals to 2y, determine amplitude, determine period. Let's look at the function first. Let's get to the function. You know, these setters are very technical. These ones, no wonder they are called mathematics gurus. This is Mathematics Gurus Forum. Very interesting setters. The first thing that I want us to identify is that they are saying 2y equals to 4 sine 2x minus 30. And we don't have a function like that. That means we have to narrow it down to 2. We divide by 2 through. So 2 cancels out. This becomes 2 sine 2x minus 30 that way. So this is the second function now. Identify the amplitude and also identify the period. Let's go to the identification of the amplitude. So the amplitude is the highest level where the wave can raise up to, or the deepest a trough can go. Those who take physics know very well these terms which are used in waves. So now the highest the wave can go is +2 or -2. So we pick the absolute value, which is 2. So the amplitude equals to 2. Amplitude equals to 2. The highest where the curve can go, according to the graph. Then the next thing should be the period. When is the wave making a complete cycle? When is the wave making a complete cycle? So we can consider from 15, let me change my ink a little bit, from 15 all the way to 105. That is half a cycle. And how many angles do we, how many degrees do we have there? From 15 to 105, that is half a cycle. The whole curve, that's half a cycle. So 105 minus 15, this is 90. So 90 is half a cycle. So we need 90 times 2. The angle moved to cover a complete oscillation. This will be 180. We are going to some physics, 180, like that. Now, something that I'm supposed to show you, and this one don't try at home. This is a secret from section 1. This is section 2, whereby we are supposed to interpret the graph. But now from section 1, we should have these secrets with us, knowing that very well, given a function y equals to a certain value times the sine, then you are given kx plus or minus a certain angle here. This function is being plotted or being provided. Then you have to state amplitude. Amplitude should be the value of A. And that is why, even after going to the graph, we found that the amplitude is 2, just as it is here. The amplitude is 2, just as it appears at that position in the function. Even without plotting, we would have identified amplitude. Please note it that. Note it very well that even without plotting, we could have identified amplitude. Something else you're supposed to know is that when we take the multiplier of x, which is our k here, 360 over k should give us period. 360 over k should give us period. So when we take 360 and we divide by the value at that point, for this function, it's again a 2. You see, it's 2 times x. So divide by 2, we are getting 180. So you see, our period is 180. Even without touching the graph, we would have gotten the same values. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following that. I want to believe that you've gotten it right. It's my belief that you've gotten it very right. Now we go to what we call chords and tangents. I can see people are seriously increasing. Seriously increasing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Physics paper 2, that one will be streaming on Monday. Streaming on Monday next week. So be prepared for physics paper 2. It shall come hot, red hot. I will serve it to you. Look at this. Our consultation line is 07 04 15 33 66. I'm still creating awareness about our programs here, whereby you need to register with us through the number that I've just posted or the number on the poster here, 07 04 15 33 66. Just reach out through this and enroll to the most powerful platform. This is a program which is going to happen through Google Meet, and it's going to be one of the best. In Google Meet, it shall be very interactive, such that you can talk to the teacher, you can ask a question, the teacher can pause for you, and we have a combination of a very serious lineup of facilitators from the country, specialists in these particular subjects, to ensure that you get the best at the right time. So please take a step of enrolling and meet with us so that you may get the best from the best teachers. Don't hesitate, kindly enroll and invite a friend. Number 18, circles and chords. A very interesting question. Actually, I've never seen a wonderful setting like this, where the diagram has not even been drawn. A plan of a school is in the form of a regular pentagon. A pentagon is a five-sided figure of length 16 centimeters. A, B, C, D, E inscribed in a circle. Inscribed in a circle. Washrooms are to be constructed outside the school compound. The center of the plan is fixed at a point O. Given that the angle DAC equals to 40, ACB equals to 32, and a tangent at C meets AB produced at T. Giving reasons, calculate. This is for the first time to meet a question like this in section 2, where the diagram has not been provided. It is upon the learner, it is upon the student to come up with the right diagram. So let's plot this information. Let's come up with a sketch of the diagram. Of course, not drawn to scale, just sketching. Let us try to sketch. One thing that you're supposed to know is that when we talk about five-sided figures, a pentagon, we should know that the sum of the angles in a pentagon are given by 180 into n minus 2. So this is 180 times 3, which is 540. Now, each of the interior angles should be 540 divided by 5 angles, because all the interior angles are adding up to 540. What is the size of each? If all of them are adding to 540, what is the size of each? 540 out of 5. I'm getting 108. 108 degrees. That is a very serious information. 108. Therefore, let's begin by the school compound, which is circular. The school compound is circular, so it's a sketchy information. Let's not judge the circle so much. The information is just sketchy. The information is sketchy. That way. Sketchy information. Then there is a center here. A center that we are calling center O. What are we told? That there is an inscribed pentagon, 16 centimeters length. So we start with 16 centimeters here. Measure 16 centimeters like that. Then now an angle of 108 should be measured. Remember, I'm just sketching. So it is not even a must for the angle to be 108. That way. Then we produce again an equal length. Then we measure again 108. We produce the length. That way. We measure again 108. Then we mark it off. And finally, we connect. So finally we connect that point. So this is an amazing lesson. I want you to know that. Very amazing. So now we have drawn on our own behalf. We can talk about A, B, C, D, E. That is the pentagon. It has been inscribed in a circle. That way. Then there are some angles. Guys, there are some angles which have been provided here. Let's get to those angles. We are told that the angle DAC equals to 40. DAC. So we produce an angle DAC. DAC. This one is 40. degrees that way. We have some more angle given. ACB. ACB 32. ACB 32. ACB 32. Remember, the pentagon is regular. That is an instruction that I want you to take so dear. The pentagon is regular. The pentagon is regular. That way. Those are the provided angles. Then a tangent at C is meeting AB, the AB produced. So we produce AB outside, so that AB might meet a certain tangent. AB is produced that way, so that a tangent that touches the circle at C, a tangent that touches the circle like that. So a tangent at C may meet the produced AB at a point that we are calling T, that way. All this information had not been drawn. It is upon the learner. It is upon the learner now to come up with such a drawing. Then you proceed now to solve. This one is another level of a setting. This one is a wonderful set, and it's my hope that now you've seen at least setting levels are raising up. The program that we are just advertising is for secondary school students. Actually, the greatest beneficiary is even a Form 2, because they will get to know very serious basics at a very early stage of their education, and they will be having enough time to implement. So Form 2s and Form 3s are highly invited. Form 2s and Form 3s, you are highly invited. Oh, let's now proceed. Thank you for that question anyway. Thank you for that serious question. Yes. Now, with all this information, are we not in a position to proceed now? We are finding some of these angles now. Allow me change my ink now to blue so that I may play along with the diagram seriously. Calculate the sizes of which angles. The first angle is COD. 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 Let me just show you the angle COD first. Then we proceed to work it out. This is the COD. And we are told with reasons. The angle here, COD, that one. And this angle is automatically going to be 80. So the angle COD is opposed to 2 times 40, which is 80 degrees. Then you say angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. The angle at the center is usually twice the angle at the circumference. So if we are having a certain angle produced at the circumference by a chord CD, for example, a chord CD is producing an angle at the circumference, which is equal to 40. And the same chord is producing an angle to the center. That angle at the center should be double the angle at the circumference. That is something you've already learned. We proceed to the next question. AEC, the angle AEC. AEC, let's look at that. AEC. The angle AEC, I'm going to draw it using some color here. AEC. So allow me connect C to E. that way. AEC. This is now the angle that you need. AEC. That way. So what am I going to do first to get this particular angle? It's good for you to know something here. It's good for you to notice that these particular angles, we said all of them are, is it 108? Yeah, 540 out of 108. So this is 108 degrees. 108 degrees. If that is 108 degrees, then we can get the size of the angle at this point. The size of the angle at E. Because, listen to this now, when you consider ABCE, all the vertices are touching the circle circumference, and it is a four-sided figure, which we call a cyclic quadrilateral. So in a cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angles are usually supplementary. Therefore, the angle at E and the angle at B are supposed to be supplementary. So I take 180 minus 108. This gives me exactly what? 72 degrees. Then I will say opposite angles, as my reason now, opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral. In a cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. Or simply they add up to 180. They add up to 180. So this one now becomes 72 degrees. That one becomes 72 degrees because it is opposite 108 in a cyclic quadrilateral. In a cyclic quadrilateral. Thank you. Nara girls. Thank you. Thank you. Where is 108 coming from? Okay. I'm supposed to repeat this one for the last time. 108 is coming from, this is a pentagon, which is regular. This is the first thing that we did. A regular pentagon, we have said that the interior angles are totaling to 540. And how many are they? How many angles are they? They are 5 in number. The interior angles are 5 in number. They are adding to 540. Therefore, we can divide this sum by 5 because it is regular. So they are all equal. Because it is a regular pentagon, they are all equal. Therefore, we divide by 5 to get 108. So each is 108. Each interior angle is 108 degrees. Thank you for that question. I hope you are sorted. I hope you are sorted. It is my hope that you are sorted. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Pangani girls, wow. Thank you, Pangani. Please continue following, and I would request you guys to invite your friends. Some of you actually come from very serious, very big schools with a very good population, such that we should be flocking here in shifting grades. But you plan to come alone. Nisawa, that's okay. But please, it is good to give a hint to your friends. Let them know about the story of shifting grades. Let them know how transformative our lessons are. Let them know about our program. Okay. OAE. OAE. Or I. OAE. There is a particular angle there. OAE. Remember, O is here. So when we say OAE, we mean the angle at the corner here. Let's see how to get this particular angle. Let's see how to get this particular angle. What are you supposed to know first here? Remember, the whole of the angle at D the whole of the angle at D, this one is 108. That one is 108. And if that is 108, then ideally it means that the whole of this is 72. The whole of the angle at A is 72. Okay. So if this is 108, EDC 108, then ideally the angle at the whole of this point, the whole of that point is equivalent to 72. So EAC equals to 72 degrees. If that is 72 degrees, then now we should be able to play around and we get all the other angles. Let's get the value of the angle. We said this is 32. And this one also is supposed to be 32. I will tell you why it is 32 also. I will tell you why this one is also 32. Can I tell you the reason? In a pentagon, which is what? In a pentagon, which is regular, all the sides are equal. So if this is 32, then this is also, and this length is equal to it, it is also supposed to be 32. So the two angles there are 32 each. The two angles are 32 at that point. The angle here is 72. That is the angle ADC, 32. 72, that is, because it is opposite to 108. 72 because it is opposite to 108. If that is so, then the angle at the center here, the angle at that particular point is going to exactly be what? 72 times 2, which is 144. So the angle here is 144 degrees. 144 degrees that way. 144 degrees. There are very many angles that we can find actually in this one. Very many angles that we can find from the center. So we can find the value of these angles now. Look at this. Just look at my analysis. We have gotten 144 at that point. We have gotten 144 at that point. So we can get the small angle here, OAC. The small angle here, OAC, can be found by taking 180 minus 144 to get 36. Then this 36 should be divided by 2 to get 18 and 18. 18 and 18 that way. So with 18 and 18, can we understand, or can we all agree that if we have that 18 and the whole of CAE or EAC is 72, we need to take 72 and we subtract 18. 72 minus 18, because the whole of this is 72. The whole of that is 72, but the smaller angle here is 18. So 72 minus 18. What does it give us? This is 54 degrees. 54 degrees. Yeah, that is 54 degrees. 54 degrees that way. 54 degrees. You should be able to understand that concept. Very simple, very easy to understand. CTB, the angle CTB CTB, the angle at this point. The angle at that point. I want you to observe, just observe how technically I'm going to handle it. How technically I'm going to handle it. Look at, we are already having 32 at this point. And we said this is also 32. So the chord BC, is the one producing, 32 at A. If it is the one producing 32 at A, it should leave an equal angle here. So this is also 32, because in Form 3 we learned that the angle made by a chord and a tangent is equal to the angle subtended by the same chord in the alternate segment. Same chord in the alternate segment. So this is also 32. Now with 32 at that point, it makes the whole of the angle at C to be 64. So it's like now we are having a triangle. It's like now we are having a triangle with the 64 at this point because of the two 32s. Then at 32 at this point, then now the angle we want is here at T. So we need 180. We need 180 minus 32 and 64. And what does this give us? We compute 180 minus 32 plus 64. This gives us 84 degrees. Angles in a triangle add up to 180. Angles in a triangle add up to 180. That is what we have used. Thank you. We can consider the last question now, or the last question in this, the last part of this question. The length BT equals to 20. Calculate the length CT. BT equals to 20. From B to T equals to 20 centimeters. Remember, AB, which is part of the pentagon, is equal to 16. So this is 16. AB is part of the pentagon, so 16 centimeters. So we find the length of CT, which is our tangent. We shall say this. When we take the tangent squared, CT, we square this length, we should get the same as when we take the whole of the tangent that they are meeting externally. The tangent that they are meeting externally, which is AT. So the whole of AT multiplied by the outer portion of AT, which is BT in this case. The outer portion, which is BT. Therefore, CT squared should be equal to AT from A to T, 16 and 20. That gives us 36. Multiplied by BT, the outer portion, which is provided as 20. So now we can say CT squared equals to 36 by 20, giving us 702. So this length CT shall be the square root of 720, which is equal to 26.83. Sorry. 26.83 centimeters to 4 significant figures. To 4 significant figures. Kianyaga High. 18 has come from where? Okay. Please review the lesson. Just revisit. Even after this presentation, the lesson is going to be available in the same channel. So kindly take your time to revisit our lessons. A very interesting question in number 19. Given that sequence S1 contains all numbers from 1 to 100, all numbers from 1 to 100, while sequence S2 contains 2, 5, 8, 11, all the way to 80. Find the sum of all identical numbers that exist between S1 and S2. Find the sum of all the identical numbers that exist. Let's first of all identify the identical numbers that exist in all this. Look at this. Look at this. Sequence 1 is having 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 100. All the numbers. Then sequence 2 is having 2, 5, 8, 11, all the way to 80. So can we get how many terms? How many terms are in S2? Because we know we can get the term represented or the position of 80, because the first term here is 2 and there is a common difference of 3, because from 2 to 5 we have 3, 5 to 8 we have 3, 8 to 11 we have 3. So there is a common difference of 3. Then the last term now, the nth term is 80. Remember, nth term is given by a plus n minus 1 into d. So which position is the term 80? 80 equals to a 2 plus n minus 1 multiplied by d, which is 3. So let's get the position. Let's get the position of 80. 2, 5, 8, 11, all the way to 80. Which position is 80? So we can subtract 2 to get 78 from 80, equals to 3n minus 3. But this one now should be added to give us 81, equals to 3n. So the value of n equals to 27. So in this particular sequence now, the second sequence, it is having 27 terms. So from 2 all the way to 80, the terms are 27. And if they are 27, I want you to know that the first sequence is having 1, 2, 3, all the way to 100. So the second sequence can be fully contained in sequence 1. All the terms in sequence 2 can be fixed somewhere in sequence 1, and they will find that they are all equal to another value in sequence 1. So every term in sequence 2 is finding a similar or an identical number in S1. And therefore, we are finding the sum of all identical numbers. And those numbers are the numbers found in sequence 2. So the numbers found in sequence 2 are identical to some numbers in S1. And therefore, we need the sum of 27 terms. Remember, sum of some n terms can be given by n over 2 into a plus l, or sum equals to n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. We can use the 2 formula? Yes. By saying this, n is 27 over 2 into the first term, the last term. This is going to be 82, so 41. 27 by 41, which is equal to 1107. So the sum is 1107, or we can use the second formula. Sum of n terms is given by n out of 2 into 2 by the first term, which is 2, plus n minus 1, 27 terms minus 1 into a common difference of 3. A common difference of 3. N is 27, sorry. N is 27. So 27 out of 2 into 4 plus 26 by 3, 78. So this is a 82. 82 divided by 2 is 41. So we will find yourself having the same answer. We shall find ourselves at the same answer. Nyanziongo National. Thank you. William from Nakuru, thank you. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Let's know your school, please. Just type where you come from. Let's know whether you're getting something from Shifting Grades Online School. Let's know whether we are learning. Let's know whether something is happening. Let's know whether something is happening. This is your prime time. You don't have another time to get to social media and learn. This is the time that you should get the best. Number 2, find the number of terms in sequence 2 that are divisible by 2. A. Find the number of terms in sequence 2 that are divisible by 2. So the terms are moving from 2 to 5 to 8 to 11, and you can guess the next is 14, all the way to 80. And we've just mentioned that these terms are 27. We have mentioned that these terms are 27. So if they are 27, all of them between 2 and 80, they are 27. Then we are having an even number alternating with an odd number. Then it means because they are 27 and we are starting with an even number, then ending with an odd number, in the 27, if we divide by 2, then we should say that 14 ones are the one which are even and the other 13 are odd. So we will have the number of terms being 14. It is just 14 because within 27 terms, and we are starting with an even number, odd even. So if you count the even ones, you discover that they are 14, then the odd ones shall be 13. Alternatively, we can do it mathematically, by the way. It's good to be thinking in a broad perspective. It's good to reason broadly. Look at this. What if we say that in this particular sequence, the even numbers, the ones that can be divisible by 2, are 2, then we skip to 8, then we skip to 14, like that, all the way to 80. All the way to 80. So we can say that now this is a different sequence whereby the first term is 2 and the common difference is becoming 6 now. From 2 to 8, then to 14. So from 14, we should go to 20. We go to 26, like that, until 80. Then we are supposed to know that for us to arrive at 80, the number of terms can be determined because 80 is equal to the first term plus n minus 1 into the common difference, which is a 6. So this is 78 equals to 6n minus 6. Now we are supposed to add 6 to the other side to give us 84 equals to 6n. When you divide it through, you shall get 14. That one I'm sure. 84 divided by 6. Yeah, 14. So the number of terms is 14. So it's like we are changing the pattern now. so that we may seclude the even numbers from 2 to 8 to 14, like that. Again, I would say this is a very wonderful setting. It's not a walk in the park. It's not a question to take for granted. You're supposed to think before you handle it. Yeah, you should be a thinker in most of these questions. You must be a reasoner. You can't just pass in mathematics. You have to think first. Then now you start passing. You think before doing mathematics. You think as you do mathematics. You think after mathematics. Did you hear that? You think before doing mathematics. You think as you do mathematics. And you think after mathematics. Let that one be your principle. Think before doing math. Think as you do math. Think after doing math. The first, the third, and the seventh terms of an increasing AP form the first three terms of a geometric sequence or series. Given that the first term of the AP is 10, find the first term and the common ratio of the GP. Very quickly, thank you, Kitondo School. Very quickly, this is what we shall do. The first term, the third, so the third is A plus 2D, and the seventh, which is A plus 6D. I'm getting this because we should know that any other term in an AP arithmetic progression is given by A plus n minus 1 multiplied by D. N is the position of this particular number. N is the position of the particular number. Therefore, when you talk about the third, it should be A plus 3 minus 1 multiplied by D. When we talk about the seventh, it should be A plus 7 minus 1 multiplied by D. That's why it becomes a 6. Thank you. Thank you, Giri Secondary School. Thank you for your comment. Okay, we are told that given that the first term of the arithmetic progression is 10, find the first term of the GP and also the common ratio. Okay, I think they share common terms. So if A is 10, it shall also be 10 in the other one. So what we need to get now is the common difference to help us get the common ratio. If there is a common ratio, you should know that the terms are related. Related in this manner, from the first term to the next, there is a common ratio multiplying that. And from the second to the third, there is a common ratio multiplying that. If so, then it means when we take 10 plus 2D divided by 10, it should be the same as when you take 10 plus 6D out of 10 plus 2D. The reason why I'm coming up, thank you so much, Mboni girls. Thank you. I don't know whether people are really reminded of this. I don't know whether people are still aware, but please remember to enroll. Our number is attached on the wall. It is also on the poster, 0704 15 3366. Please reach out. Let's get the best from the best, ladies and gentlemen. A very reasonable amount of registration fee. You get the best. You get to a life-changing program. Talk to your parent, talk to your guardian, see you online. Okay, so what am I saying in coming up with this equation? If, for example, we have 2, 6, I've multiplied by 3, 18, you should know that 6 over 2 should be the same as 18 over 6. In both cases, we are getting 3. So through that knowledge of what through the knowledge on what a GP is, we can now relate. We can say this second term over the first should be the same as the third over the second. A cross multiplication will now give us 10 into 10 plus 6d equals to 10 plus 2d into 10 plus 2d, that way. Yeah. So this shall be 100 plus 6d equals to 100 plus 40d plus 4d squared. I hope that is properly organized. Yeah, properly organized. We can group terms 100 and 100. That one cancels. Then now we remain with, look at this. I want you to observe this one keenly. Let me play along with some working space here. Now, when we talk about 60 and 40, this can easily become 20, okay? Or we say we have 4d squared minus 20d. Then we remain with a 0 at this point. Yeah, 40 minus 60 is a negative 20. So we can factor out something common, and that is 4d, to remain with d minus 5 equals to 0. So 4d equals to 0. So d equals to 0, or d minus 5 equals to 0. So d becomes 5. So the common difference is 5. The common difference is 5, because we cannot have a common difference of 0. We choose 5. If 5 is the common difference, then the three terms are 10, comma, the other one is 10 plus 2d. So it becomes a 20, right? The other one is 10 plus 6d. So 10 plus 6 by 5 is 30. So we get a 40. So that's how the terms are following one another in the GP. So we can get the ratio, the common ratio, by taking 20 over 10, which should be the same as 40 over 20, which is 2. So the common ratio is 2. The first term is 10. 2 and 10. A very good question. 2 and 10. A very good question. A very good question. Utini girls, thank you so much. From Eldoret, thank you. Boni girls, thank you. We usually start our lessons at around 7:30, 7:20, somewhere there. Wajir High School, thank you. Simat High School, thank you. High School. St. Francis High School. Suwerwa, thank you. Thank you. Somebody saying they will never miss. Thank you so much. Sijampo. Sigalame High, thank you. Kianyaga High, thank you. Vokoli Girls, Mta Secondary, thank you. A private candidate from Embu, thank you so much. Please inbox me. Let the private candidate inbox us. 0704 15 33 66. We are moving to LOCI, ladies and gentlemen. St. Joseph's Kibwezi, thank you. Kinagop Girls, thank you. Nairobi. Karima Girls, wow, thank you. Thank you. Machako School, thank you so much. Optimist from Machako School, that's my former school. Thank you so much, STEM Smart Academy. That's a colleague who offers tutorials on YouTube. Please make sure you follow the school. It's called STEM Smart. Sorry for the inconvenience. Sorry for the inconveniences. I hope you are still around. And I hope it is the same stream which is continuing. We are really sorry. We apologize. We greatly apologize for the network disconnection. It was an issue on our Wi-Fi, and I hope everything has been fixed. Sorry for that failure. Back to the program now. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what number one asks for us. We are really sorry. We are really sorry for the inconvenience. Are you still around? Please confirm that you are still around. If you have waited for us to arrest the issue. Thank you. Thank you for remaining around. Thank you, Mary Gonyo. I can see you have tried some gift for us. 200. That is a great support. I said if you really behave like Mary Gonyo, we are really going to be very far. It shall be very conveniencing for us. So the live stream continues. We are sorry for the disconnection. We are sorry for what has happened. We now proceed. Number 21. The figure below is a rectangular base pyramid with base A, B, C, D. Then we have a vertex V, as you can see. VC equals to VB equals to VA equals to VD. Those are the slanting heights. They are all equal to 40 centimeters. All equal to 40 centimeters. Thank you for getting back, guys. Thank you. Our line is 07 04 15 33 66, and it's also our M-Pesa line, so you can use the same to appreciate our programs. Okay, AB 24 and BC 10, just as you can see on the diagram. Then we are told that EF equals to 8, EF equals to 8, and FG equals to 6. That way, that is labeled. Calculate the vertical height, VO. The vertical height, VO. As we get the vertical height, because the base is rectangular, let's get the diagonal AC of the base. Diagonal AC of the base. Diagonal AC. So AC squared should be the same as 24 squared plus 10 squared, then the square root, because it is the diagonal. So I'm taking 24 squared plus 10 squared, then I take the square root. This is exactly 26 centimeters. Okay, if that is 26 centimeters, then we should be able to know that if the whole of AC is 26, then from A to O, this is going to be 13. If the whole of AC is 26, then OA is going to be 13. So with 13 and 40, we can use triangle VOA to get VO. So now VO shall be Pythagoras theorem again. VO squared equals to 40 squared minus 13 squared. So we can get VO by taking the square root now. We take the square root of 40 squared minus 13 squared. Now the square root. This shall be 37.83. That's 7.83. I hope that one is well worked out. 40 squared minus 13 squared, the square root. That's 7.83, yeah. Centimeters. So that is it. Pythagoras theorem. Yeah, thank you for remaining around. Thank you for remaining around. Look at this now. The pyramid is cut along plane EFGH. EFGH. parallel to the base ABCD as shown. Calculate the angle between VHE, VHE and VBC. VHE, VHE, we can see it, VHE, VHE, we can see that one, and VBC, VBC. So the angle between now VBC is this one. So the angle between the two planes, these are two planes. One plane is like this. That is one plane, E, H, V. Then the other one is starting from here now. The one is like this, B, C, V, that way. So the angle between these two planes shall be, through the middle of this one, we draw a line, and through the middle of the other one, we draw a line. Now the angle between those two lines. So at this point now, you shall allow me talk about this angle now. The angle will be accessed through this point. I first draw a line through the base there, through the base of the smaller pyramid, through the base of the smaller pyramid, like that. Yeah, through the base of the smaller pyramid, that way. Then now we need the angle to the top there, to the top here, just the angle here. That is what exactly we need. Therefore, with that, we can talk, we can even use, actually, we can even use the bigger base. We can even use the bigger base here, because the planes proceed to the base. They proceed to the base, whereby because this is 24, we can use 12, 12. Then the vertical height is 37. So let's get the angle at the center first. Assuming this is X and this is Y. Assuming that is X and Y, guys, I'll be having V, X, Y. So we get the angle here first. We get 1 point using 12 and a height equivalent to 37.83. That's 7.83. So we can get one angle there by saying the tan of the angle equals to 12 over tan of the angle equals to 12 out of 37.83. So the angle shall be tan inverse, or shift tan, 12 over 37.83. So this shall be 12 over this value, then shift tan, and I'm getting 17.6. 17.6 degrees, meaning that the whole of the angle now, the whole of that angle now shall be when this is multiplied by 2. So we multiply by 2 now to get the answer. This multiplied by 2 becomes 35.2. 35.2 degrees. Yeah, 35.2 degrees. Calculate. On our comment side, on our comments, there is this symbol showing some currency there. When you press that, you can do like Mary and purchase some gift for us. Thank you, Joanna Chase. The angle between VB and its projection. VB and its projection. So I assume it is its projection on the base. VB and its own shadow on the base. So VB and its own shadow. The shadow, first of all, the shadow shall be BO. We must identify the shadow first. This one. We identify the shadow first. This is 10 centimeters. So we first identify the shadow. So the shadow or the projection of VB on the base is going to be BO. If the shadow is BO, then we can find the angle now, which is the angle at this point. We are having a length of 40, the slanting height, and a vertical height of 37.86. So the angle there will be determined using, we have the opposite, which is the vertical height, and the hypotenuse, because this is right angled. Using VOB, it's right angled at O. Therefore, we shall say the sine of the angle equals to opposite length, the vertical height, out of the hypotenuse, 40. Meaning that the value of the angle shall be the sine inverse of 37.83 over 40. 37.83 out of 40. Then we take the sine inverse, shift sine, we get 71.04. 71.04 degrees. Yeah, 71.04 degrees that way. Thank you. There is another angle here that we're supposed to find, guys, and that is the angle. Let's check the angle between ABGH and the base. ABGH. Let's identify that first. ABGH. The angle through here. We have a plane here. A certain unseen plane. Certain unseen plane. Certain unseen plane. Unseen plane that way. ABGH. ABGH and the base. What's the angle between this plane and the base? So we can draw a few angles. We can say if we pass through this point, that way, we shall be having the top there is 8. So we shall be having 8 there. Then from that point to the base, from that point to the base now, to the base there, to the ground. This is the angle we need. That is the angle we need between the two planes. We know again that from F to down here and G to down here, we have 6. If that is 6, then it means we are remaining with 2 and 2 here. Meaning that the whole of this from X to T, the whole of that is going to be 8. The whole of that is 8. And the vertical height can also be gotten. If that is a length of 8, then the height from G to T can also be found. Let me show you. Mugoiri girls. Wow, thank you. Thank you, Mugoiri girls. Thank you so much, Mugoiri girls. So the height from G to T can be found when we say that the ratio of the base, which is 24, and the base which was cut off, the base of the pyramid which was cut off using similarities enlargement is 8. The base length of the smaller one is 8. It should be the same as the vertical height of the original, that's 7.83, divided by vertical height of the smaller one which was cut, 24h equals to 8 by 37.83. meaning that 8 equals to, we divide through by 24. So 8 by 37.83 out of 24. This is 12.61 centimeters, which means that the height which remained is 37.83 minus 12.61. And this shall be 37.83. We get 25.22. 25.22. So the height here is 25.22 here. 25.22. The height from G to T, 25.22 up to the base. The height of the pyramid. Okay, the height of the frustum that remained, 22.22, and we have said x to t is 8. If that is 8, then now we can get the angle here using again tangent. Tan theta equals to 25.22. Tan of that angle equals to 25.22 over 8. Yeah, divided by 8. Then now we take the tan inverse for us to get the angle. Tan inverse of 3.1525. That's after dividing. So the value of the angle shall be, shift tan, this value, 72.4. 72.4 degrees. Yeah, 72.4 degrees. 72.4 degrees. That way. How much for the registration? It's only 2,500. 2,500 for the 2 weeks, for the 6 subjects. Only that. No more payments. Use our line 0704 15 3366. The name will be Boniface. So we don't have more payments after you make. Once you make the registration, no more payments. From Mandela School, thank you. Thank you from Mandela School. Number 22. The heights of X samples of sunflower plants is measured and tabulated as shown below. This one I'll explain as I work out the values from the calculator. So we can see, but there is a missing value here, which is M. There is a missing value there, which is M. Because of the many quantities involved, I've already computed the values so that you may go very fast, just as I explain. So we shall go very quickly on this table, very quickly. So we can have the heights. Okay, yeah, we can have the heights. The heights in classes. Then we have their frequencies. Then we have the midpoints. Then we have frequency times midpoints, so that we may talk about median. Anything else that needs to be calculated shall be brought on board as we continue. We shall onboard any other opinion as we continue. But for now, let's pick those ones. Let's pick those ones. We talk about the midpoints or the marks, the heights. The heights, then the frequencies, then the midpoints X, then Fx, frequency times midpoint. So the first class is 8 to 10 with a frequency of 4. So the midpoint shall be, of course, 9. 18 divided by 2. 10 plus 8 over 2, we get 9. Times 4, we get 36. The next one is 11 to 13. So this is 24. We get a midpoint of 12. The frequency there is 7. We multiply to get 84. Think we are doing it right. Yeah. Then the next one is 14 to 16. 14 to 16. 14 to 16. And we have M. This is 30, so 15. So we get 15 times M. 15M that way, not 15 million. Unknown. 17 to 19. So the midpoint there, okay, before the midpoint, we can talk about the frequency of 15. Then the midpoint is 18. 18 by 15 to give us 270. 270. Then we have 20 to 22. The midpoint should be 21. The frequency is 8. So we get 168. Then we are having 23 to 25. This is a frequency of 5 and a midpoint of 24. So 24 by 5 gives us 120. Now look at this. We are told that the mean height, the mean is 1686. If we have the mean, and we know that mean is usually given by sum of fx divided by sum of f, then we can get everything and say that 16.86 equals to, we add everything in sum of fx. So we add 36 plus 84 plus 15m plus 270 plus 168 plus 120. Then everything now should be divided by sum of f. Sum of f, which means 4 plus 7 plus m plus 15 plus 8 plus 5. Just all of them, all the frequencies. We should get the mean that we are already having. Yeah, we should get the mean that we are already having. So let's work out the additions. On the numerator, we are having a 36, we are having 84, we are having a 270, we are having 168, we are having 120. So this is 678. 678 plus 15m out of 39 plus m. 39 plus m equals to 16.86. Let's cross multiply. We cross multiply, and I hope that 39 is well added. 11, 26, 26 plus 13, yeah, 39. So 16.86 should be multiplied by 13 first, 39 to give us 657.54 plus 16.86 m equals to 678 plus 15 m. We group like terms together, like 16.86 minus 15 to give us 1.86 m equals to 678 minus 657.54. I'm getting 20.46. So the value of m shall be when we divide by 1.86, and we are getting exactly 11. So the missing value of m, the missing value m is exactly equal to 11. M equals to 11. M equals to 11. That's simple. M equals to 11. M equals to 11. The other thing, apart from getting that, we are told to find the standard deviation. Standard deviation. Standard deviation. So let's create some more space here for standard deviation. Standard deviation now will be found in this manner. We shall say that we need now f of x squared. F of x squared, because standard deviation shall be given by summation of f of x squared over summation of f minus the mean squared, then we take square root. That will be the standard. That will be the standard deviation. Yeah, that shall be the standard deviation. So to avoid a lot of time wasted again, that one is already computed. We're going to deliver the values. Each f times x squared. Each f times midpoint squared. So I'm going to have 324. I'm going to have 1008. I'm going to have 2475. We are taking each frequency times, if it's 4, we multiply by 9 squared. 4 times 81, like that. 7 times 12 squared. M is 11. 11 times 15 squared. That will give us 4860. Then 15 by 18 squared, that will give us 3528. Then we are also having, the other one is 2880. I hope I have done all of them. Yeah, that way. There's somewhere we did not space well there. The spacing should be proper. Sorry for that. So we get 2475. We go to 4860. We go to 3528. We go to 2880. That way. Then we get the totals now, which is supposed to be 15075. 15075. So now we need 15075 out of total frequency, which is 50, minus the mean is already known, 16.86 squared. Then we take square root. So we shall be having the square root of 17.2404, whereby the final answer shall narrow down to. So it's good for students to know the right formula for every question. More so in statistics, ladies and gentlemen. More so in statistics. You're supposed to know that in statistics, there are a lot of formula involved. More so statistics too. A lot of formula involved. And you're supposed to know how to apply each. You see how we have played along with mean until we found the value of m. Until we found the value of m. You see part B, you're finding the 80th percentile. The 80th percentile. Because the total frequency is 50, we can check 80 percentile means 80% of 50. Which position is this? 80% of 50. This is 40. So we need the 40th. We need the height of the 40th student. When we say 80th percentile, we mean the height of the 40th student. So where is the 40th student? Remember, this is 11. Instead of M, now we have 11. So we calculate something called cumulative frequencies. CF, let me include it here. CF using black. We start with 4 plus 7, 11. 11 plus 11 gives us 22. 22 plus 15 gives us 37. 37 plus 8 gives us 45. Then 50. So 40th student is going to be in this class because of 45. Previously, we are having that 7, which is not enough to accommodate 40th. So that is the class now. So the lower boundary of that class, we use the formula 19.5, the lower boundary, 19.5 plus 80th percentile of 50 minus cumulative frequency just before. Cumulative frequency just before this class, which is a 37. Then divide by frequency of this particular class. The particular class is having a frequency of 8. So out of 8, multiplied by the class width, which is 3. The class width 3? Yeah. Class width is 3. From 19.5 to 22.5. Get a class width of 3. So 40 minus 37 times 3 divided by 8. 40 minus 37 times 3 divided by 8. Then we add 19.5. I'm getting 20.625. 20.625. This is the 80th percentile according to the heights. 80th percentile. Number 22 is on longitudes and latitudes. A very interesting question once again. Longitudes and latitudes. Longitudes and latitudes. And are you following? I'm checking on you. Mothetheni girls. Wow, thank you. Thank you, Mugoiri girls. Joanna Chase, thank you. We are concluding, ladies and gentlemen. Already at number 23. Actually, we will not go beyond that because the other question requires a graphical work or a lot of construction. So we are finishing with this one, ladies and gentlemen. We are finishing with this one. Okay, we are told that a military jet moves at a constant speed of 600 knots. Flies from a camp A, 14 in the north, 30 west, southwards to B, X degrees south, taking 3 hours and a half. It then changes direction and flies along latitude to camp C, X in the south, 60 in the east. Given that pi is 3.142 and the radius of the earth 6370, calculate first the value of x. When we are moving southwards, look at this. When we are moving southwards, it means we are moving along a great circle. So we are covering a certain distance along a great circle. So we are moving from north 14 all the way to south, x in the south. And we are moving along 30 in the west. This is 30 in the west, meaning that B is somewhere here. No, B is somewhere here, and A is somewhere here. Yeah, that way. So that's what we are having now. That is exactly what we're having along a great circle. So we shall use the radius of the earth. We shall use the radius of the earth along a great circle so that we get this is a particular arc from A to B along the same longitude. Then we can connect now the two to the axis of the earth so that we have a radius 6370 and a known angle there. We have a known angle there, and something we're supposed to say that we know is the distance from A to B. The distance from A to B equals to 3.5 hours at a speed of 600. And you know the speed is in knots. A wise student is supposed to know that speed times time, 3.5, should give us 2100 nautical miles, not kilometers, nautical miles. Along a great circle, distance is given by 60 times beta, the angle difference. So the angle difference shall be, when we divide 2100 by 600, by 60, sorry, we'll get 35 degrees. So there is an angle difference. Look at this now. From A to B, there is an angle difference of 35. And the two places are on opposite sides of the equator 0 degrees. So it means the angle difference is the addition of the two latitudes. Because they are on opposite sides of the equator, their latitudes have been added. So 35 equals to the addition of 14 and the unknown angle. So to remain with the angle of x, we subtract 14 to get 21 degrees in the south. So if it's 21 degrees in the south, yeah, x, 21 degrees in the south. Actually, that is what we wanted. We are finding x, means the coordinates of B is 21 degrees south, 30 in the west. But this is not part of the question. Yeah, 21 in the south. 21 degrees in the south. That is the value of x. Now look at part B. The distance between camp B and C along the parallel of latitude, in kilometers. So moving along the parallel of latitude now, we are moving from B, so we can get the circle of the latitude now. This is the latitude, which is a small circle from B along this latitude all the way to C. And where is C? 2160. So we are moving from C is here. C equal to 60. And B is at 30 in the west. 30 in the west all the way to 60 in the. So we are going through an angle of 90. Yeah, a latitude of 30 in the west. We move through the 31st, we arrive at prime meridian, and we proceed for another 60. That means we will have gone through an angle of 90. Therefore, distance in kilometers along a small circle or a circle of a latitude is usually given by beta over 360 2 pi r cosine of the latitude where the two places are. So this distance shall be beta is 90 over 360 2 pi is 20, pi is 3 according to the instructions, 3.142. I was almost deviating from that. 6370 cosine of, we are moving along 21 in the south. They are both along 21 in the south. So now I compute that 90 times 2 times 3.142 times 6370 cosine of 21 divided by 360. Yeah, so I'm having 9342 as the distance. 93.2, 9342.59 kilometers. Are we given any instructions about the accuracy? No. So we stick to 2dp that way. Let's look at part B, ladies and gentlemen. Another terrorist camp situated at 5 degrees in the north, 120 in the west. Calculate the shortest time the military jet will take to hit the terrorist camp via the South Pole. Shortest distance. Shortest distance. Look at this. Look at this. I want to illustrate this with the highest level of precision. We have the prime meridian and the prime meridian, and we have prime meridian, and we're also having the equator that way. So where is the jet first? From A, 14 degrees in the north. From A, 14 degrees in the north, 30 in the west. So A is here. Then we want this military. Want the jet to move from A all the way to 5 in the north. Wait, A is in this. Just a minute. A military jet moves from A south to B, then now to C, then now to C, then now to C. So where is C? Technically, C is it is at C, and C is 21 in the south, 60 in the east. Yeah, that is where C is. So the plane is at C, or the jet. The jet is at C. Sorry for that. The jet is at C. Let's check that. This is where the jet is. The jet is at C, 21 in the south. C is here, 60 in the east. Then it has to fly from C through the South Pole until the terrorist camp. I can call it T, until the terrorist camp, which is 5 in the north. 5 in the north. This is 5 in the north and 120 in the west. This is where the terrorist is, 120 in the west. You see, 120 in the west and 60 in the east are what we call supplementary longitudes. Therefore, now we have to move in such a manner. Let me now show you the distance. I want to show you the great circle where we are moving through. This is a circle of latitude, which is 5 degrees in the north. I want to make sure you understand, even if you don't want to understand. 5 in the north. Then we have 21 in the south, that way. So a plane is supposed to cover through the South Pole from this point, moving along the South Pole until it is at a point here. Look at that now. It wants to move from C to the terrorist camp, which is at T. So from 21 in the south up to the southern hemisphere. And remember, because this is 16 in the east, it assumes 120 in the west automatically. As long as we pass through the pole, it shall go down through 120. Therefore, now, from the center of the earth, allow me now illustrate this. Allow me illustrate this from a black. From the core of the earth, we are having 21 degrees here. Then again, from the same axis, we are having 6. We're having 5 degrees there. 5 degrees there. So what about the arc? The whole arc is having what angle here? Because from the equator, this is 0 degrees equator. From 0 degrees equator, we are having 5 degrees to T and 21 on this side to C. So the total angle here shall be, we take 180, we subtract the 21, but we add 5 for us to get 164. So the angle here is 164. So in nautical miles, the distance now, the distance will be given by, in nautical miles, shall be given by 60 times this angle. So 60 times 164. 60 times 164. And this shall be 9840. The now time, because these are nautical miles, now time taken shall be, because what are we calculating? The shortest time. Time will be distance over the constant speed of 600. So out of 600, this gives us 16 hours, 0.4. 16.4 hours. Yeah, 16.4 hours. 16.4 hours. That question really required serious analysis, a serious understanding by the student before they attempt to understand what kind of a great circle are we tracing. What kind of a great circle are we tracing? Then finally, we are told to find the local time at the terrorist camp, when the local time at the camp A is 12:20. Camp A 12:20, where is A 12:20? Then terrorist camp, we need the time there. So terrorist camp is at 5 in the north, 1:20 in the west. North 1:20 in the west. Camp A equals to 14 north, 30 west. 14 north, 30 in the west. What is the time at the terrorist camp? When at A, it is 12. So we can see that the terrorist camp is to the west. So it is behind in time. Behind because from 30 west going to 120 west, we are moving towards the west. They are both on the west side, but one is more west than another. So the terrorist camp is more west. So from 120 to 30, we are getting is it 90 degrees. And for every 1 degree longitude, there are 4 minutes time difference. What about 90 degrees? It shall be 4 times 90. We get time in minutes. So we divide by 60 to get hours. This is going to be 6 hours. 6 hours, yes. So the terrorist camp, which is 90 degrees to the west, is 6 hours behind in time. So we take 12:20, we subtract 6 hours, get 06, 020, 0620 hours. 0620 hours. Yeah, 0620 hours. Or 6:20 in the AM the same day. 6:20 AM the same day. See you for the next class. Thank you.